In this one, 3 tips to actually get abs. Number 1, focus on stretch biased exercises. So if you actually pay attention, when people usually train abs at the gym, they're training in a partial range of motion, in a shortened partial, which is the exact opposite almost of what you want. You want full range of motion, but you want a stretch biased exercise. So in my opinion, the best exercise for abs is decline crunches or decline sit-ups, however you want to call this one. So what this will do is this will do spinal flexion, which is the goal with training your abs. However, it's doing so in a stretched position. And you can choose to progressively overload on this exercise either by increasing the weights or doing slower reps or doing more reps in general. You can use plates if you want to, but ideally you want to get stronger over time. That can mean heavier weights or higher reps or slower tempo, but you have to get stronger because the abs are just like any other muscle. So I would avoid doing the type of crunches that everyone does at the gym, which is shortened bias. You want the opposite. You want stretch bias, which is what this exercise does. Number 2, you want to train abs while bulking. So a lot of people, I don't know why, they only train abs on a cut. But the truth is, like I said previously, the abs are just like any other muscle. If you want to grow it, you need to progressively overload, but also you need to train them on a bulk. You need to train them while on a calorie surplus if you want to grow that muscle. So you can, in theory, gain some muscle at around maintenance, but it's not going to be nearly as effective or as fast as training them while on a bulk. So if you want to get abs for the summer, then this would take too long. You can just start cutting now if that's your goal. However, during the next bulk, you should absolutely train abs, just like with every other muscle. People treat abs as if it's a different muscle or as if it follows different principles, but you should treat it like everything else. So next bulk cycle, don't forget to train abs. You should train them on a cut to maintain the muscle and on a bulk to build the muscle. And if you've never trained abs before, it's totally possible to gain muscle while at maintenance or on a cut. But if you want to build muscle long term, then you absolutely should train them both on a bulk and on a cut. And during a bulk is when you build the muscle. So again, stop treating abs as if it's a completely different muscle from everything else. Your abs, just like your chest and your biceps and your triceps, it needs caloric surplus and progressive overload if you want to grow it efficiently over time, especially past the noob gains. Most people don't even train abs. If they do, it's with non-ideal exercises during a cut. But ideally, you want, like I mentioned, the stretch-based exercises like the decline sit-ups. And you also want to train them during a bulk, not just during a cut. Tip number 3 is probably the most obvious, which is body fat percentage. So you could have the strongest abs on the planet, but if you have a bunch of body fat hiding it, no one's going to see them. A lot of people say abs are made in the kitchen. That's mostly true, but incomplete. Abs are also a muscle, so you need to grow it, but for it to show, you need to be low enough in body fat percentage. There are a certain percentage of people that even after a cut, they still don't have defined abs because they don't have enough muscle development. So most men underestimate their body fat percentage, and the average is around 5 percentage points. So the average man is around 20 to 21% body fat, but they think they are 5% lower. So if you're the average man watching this, you are around 20% body fat, but you think you're around 15% body fat. And people who are truly lean, for example, 12% body fat or lower, they are extremely rare. Most people who think they're lean, they're not actually lean. And it also depends on your goal. If you want defined six-pack, then you need to be around 10 to 12% body fat. But if you don't care about that, if you just want to look healthy, then anywhere between 12 to 15% would be fine as well. However, if you want the actual six-pack defined abs, then you need to be around 12% body fat or even lower, which is incredibly rare. And the biggest reason why most people don't have it is because they have too much body fat percentage. And it doesn't help that most men think they're much leaner than they actually are. So if you're part of most men and you have too much body fat percentage, then of course the way you do that is by a calorie deficit. You can do that the hard way by being very disciplined, by tracking everything. Or you can do that the easier way, which is doing intermittent fasting, using appetite suppressants, for example, caffeine, or even just stuffing yourself with water so that you're always full with 0 calories. There are ways to be in a caloric deficit with barely any effort. For example, if you eat 1 to 2 meals a day, if you're fasting most of the day, then it's really complicated to stay fat, basically. If you want to get abs, follow the 3 things that I mentioned in this video, which is the proper way to train, when to train abs, and also losing enough body fat to have visible abs. And by the way, if you want to build a more attractive physique, then click the link in a pinned comment and join my school community.